Well, today I'm headed to Magee Marsh in Ohio just for a quick visit this afternoon and tomorrow morning, and I'll come back home Tuesday afternoon. I'm turning around and headed to Brooklyn Friday, so busy week. But not sure what to expect at Magee Marsh. It's towards the end, if not past the end of warbler migration season. But the boardwalk at Magee Marsh rarely disappoints. Even in the heat of the summer, I see some interesting warblers and other things. And of course, there are several nesting pairs of eagles there. And it's right next door to Ottawa National Wildlife Refuge, which also is a wildlife paradise. If Wildlife Drive happens to be open, which it's not a lot, but we'll see. But Magee Marsh, it's pretty exciting. I was there 5 or 6 times last year, and just amazing photography there. So I'll check in later. 5.5-hour drive or so. Obviously, during the peak migration, the warblers and other migrating species are crazy busy in Magee, but throughout the year, you can see some interesting things. Last year there were 2 pairs of prothonotary warblers that nested there, and I got some interesting photos of those. Lots of brown thrashers. I got a yellow-billed cuckoo last year, which is the only time I've ever seen that species. And of course, there are several pairs of nesting bald eagles at Magee and very close to Magee, so there's almost always eagle activity. It'll be an interesting afternoon and tomorrow morning, and then returning home Tuesday afternoon, turning around and headed for Brooklyn on Friday for a long weekend. So busy week, hopefully lots and lots of photos to share. Well, I've arrived at Magee Marsh. Just getting ready to hike the boardwalk. It's a beautiful day, mid 70s, a little breezy. I've already seen a hooded warbler on my drive in. Saw a couple of other small warbler type birds, but I couldn't identify them as I was driving. No photos yet. The eagle nest at the parking area is empty, so apparently the young eagles have fledged already, which is possible, or possibly the adults used a different nest this year. Eagle pairs almost always have a backup nest that they alternate. Every couple of years they'll switch nests, so that's definitely a possibility. Lots of birds calling. I'm sure you can hear. So there have been several species. I got some really cool photos of a bird. It may be a peewee. I'm not sure. I'll have to check when I get to the computer to be sure, but it was eating a butterfly. Looked like a monarch. It was wrestling with the butterfly, and the bird finally won. It's an interesting Interesting set of photographs. And I got the bird flying off with a butterfly too, so I'm hoping that that will be a good photo. As you can hear, the birds are everywhere here. They're in the canopy and not very visible for the most part, but we'll see. Standing at the location of a green heron nest across the little canal, up about, I'd say, 6 feet above the water. One of the adults is lying on the nest. So the photo session with the green heron went swimmingly well. I have so many photos of theoretically the female on the nest, and there are 2 chicks, and she kept standing up and the chicks would show their heads. Being serenaded by red-winged blackbirds. I just had a redstart fly across the path in front of me. Just walked by a prothonotary warbler nest that had been abandoned. They built the nest too close to the boardwalk, and apparently some humans interfered with it, so they abandoned it with 2 eggs. That's a shame. People. There are 3 red-winged blackbird males calling to each other. Actually, I see 5, so I'm not sure which 3 are doing the calling, but when the 18-wheeler was a generic description of a tractor-trailer, we had no idea that one day we'd have a 42-wheeler, but that's exactly what this rig is. Must be for extra heavy loads, because why else would you need 42 tires? Well, I slept in the Bronco last night so that I could be close to Magee Marsh this morning, not have a 5.5 hour drive to get here. My yesterday afternoon at the marsh was borderline incredible, just amazing when you see the the shots, I think you'll agree. Green heron on a nest with 2 young chicks in the nest, just crazy good. A prothonotary warbler really close up. A spectacular shot of a yellow-shafted northern flicker with its wings fully extended and all the yellow feathers in view. Just a very good day. And we're close to sunrise. As you can tell by the sky in the background, it was a moonlit night. We're, I guess, about 5:30 a.m. and I'm headed out. I just got the Bronco repacked from my my overnight sleeping bag and everything, and it's all stowed away, and I just opened my 3rd can of Diet Coke for the morning, so off and running. Well, it's 5:28 a.m. I just packed up the Bronco for my overnight stay back in Sandusky. Slept in the Bronco. Wasn't the most comfortable of nights. It was really hot. I cracked the windows and had little portable 12-volt fans going, but it was hot. Uncomfortably hot. But I'm almost to Magee Marsh now, and I'm expecting a good day. Had a fantastic day yesterday. So it's hopefully the rain's going to hold off. There is rain in the forecast, but it looks like it's going to hold off until I hit the road to go home, so stay tuned. Well, I've arrived at Magee Marsh. It's not quite sunrise, so it's pretty dark out. Not sure how good the photography will be for the next half hour or so, but shouldn't be too bad. Hopefully I'll see some cool stuff like yesterday. Stay tuned. Well, I'm at Magee Marsh on the boardwalk. I was hopeful that it would be a great morning. Been a little disappointing. Tons of birds calling, as you can hear. Catbirds, red-winged blackbirds, starling, grackles. I have seen and photographed 3 different green herons, but nothing spectacular. The one on the nest was sitting, very inactive. So, not the greatest of mornings, but as you can hear from the audio, there are plenty of birds around. I'm going to do one more pass around the boardwalk and then go try someplace else if it doesn't get better. In the meantime, I will leave the tape rolling, so to speak, so you can hear the birds of Magee Marsh. I did have 2 woodchucks bolt out of the vegetation on the side and tear off down the path a while ago. I wish I'd have been filming then, because I have never seen woodchucks move so quickly in my life. They were, pardon the expression, hauling ass. Also had a couple of squirrels pop out here and there, but again, nothing spectacular. The other downside today is the bugs are just horrible. Mayflies everywhere, as you can see. Don't know if the camera will do it justice or not, but they're landing in my hair, on my face. Yesterday I was carrying 2 cameras and I couldn't swat them away. I ended up with like 20 of them on my face at one point. Today I only have the 1 camera plus the GoPro, so I'm able to swipe away the mayflies and the occasional mosquito. Yesterday they were putting out traps for turtles. There's an example there. I'm back. There was a green heron back there posing for me. I had to stop and get some photos. I missed his takeoff, unfortunately. I was just switching my other camera to video, hoping he would take off. Well, now, I am not sure what that was, but it was loud. May have been a green heron. You get the full benefit of that audio, though. Just had 3 or 4 mayflies land on my face and one of them in my mouth. Not a good situation. The birds must be delighted with these mayflies. Any bird that eats insects ought to be just chowing down. I'm not sure why I'm not seeing more. Maybe because they've had their fill already. I know I've had my fill. Well, Magee Marsh was a little disappointing this morning. First off, it was hot and muggy, which I expected. Second off, the bugs were just horrible. The mayflies were everywhere, all over my face, all over my hair. And the birds were lacking. I saw a lot of mammals today, but didn't get a lot of photos of those. But there were a lot of birds calling and singing, but really nothing to speak of that came into view. So I was hopeful. Yesterday afternoon, which is not prime time, was very good, and coming back early this morning I figured it'd be even better, but no. But you take what you get. Apparently the Canada geese figure the road is a good place to nest and relax and sit, because there are 100 of them in the road here. Haven't gotten to them yet, but here we go. Even some babies. Not a good idea, guys. Oh, there are more. Both sides of the road. I got a group here that does not want to move for me. Literally. And there you have it. Well, Magee Marsh was a bit of a bust today, Tuesday morning, so I made the short drive over to Ottawa National Wildlife Refuge to see if, number one, if it's open, because it's only open limited hours. And number two, if it is open, there's a nice little rabbit. If it is open, I'll do a quick tour through before heading back to New York State. Ottawa National Wildlife Refuge is a gorgeous facility. It's just the visitor center is really cool, and the trails are really amazing. The wildlife that I've seen here and photographed here has been just spectacular. Well, I don't see an indication that it's closed, so we'll see. It is closed. How unfortunate. How unfortunate.